Welcome to MMA Prime TV. UFC 145 took place this past weekend, and defending light heavyweight champion Jon Jones stepped into the cage to put his title on the line against Sugar Rashad Evans, former UFC light heavyweight champion himself. Now, in this fight, Jon Jones dominated, winning pretty much every round depending on whose card you looked at. On my card, Jon Jones won every round. Round 2 was a little bit iffy, but he dominated for the most part the entire fight. Although, here are some things we did see from Jon Jones during his performance. 1. Jon Jones played it a little bit safe. He used his reach and his length to avoid the striking range of Rashad Evans. Obviously a smart move because Rashad does have one-punch KO power. Jon Jones, though, did show that he is vulnerable and people can get inside on him. Rashad Evans was able to get inside multiple times and land a couple overhand rights, his signature KO punch, although it didn't knock out Jones, and a couple sharp left hooks. Now, Jones had a 10-inch reach advantage against Rashad Evans. So if Rashad showed that he could get inside and land a few punches, that's a good sign for the next guy who's going to step in against Jon Jones, Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson's also going to have a significant height and reach disadvantage against Jon Jones when they fight for the light heavyweight title in the UFC at a date to be determined at a later time. Dan Henderson is known for his overhand right, huge knockout power. So we ask ourselves this: did Rashad Evans possibly paint the way, possibly pave a roadmap to a plan on how to beat Jon Jones? Using feints and possibly the fear of going for the power double leg, Rashad was able to get inside and land the overhand right. Dan Henderson has a very similar style, although is not as light on his feet, but he uses a lot of overhand rights to get inside for a takedown, or he'll fake a takedown and throw his huge signature H-bomb overhand right. But at the end of the day, will Jon Jones' athleticism prove to be too much for Dan Henderson, just like it was against Rashad Evans? He was able to use his reach effectively, keeping Rashad off of him for the most part, using his length via kicks and punches, setting up some beautiful combinations. One of my favorite punches of the entire fight was when Jon Jones he used the 1-1-2, but he used the 1-1 to get inside and to set up the punch. He didn't try to land it, but he just showed ba-ba, 1-1, and he came in with a huge right hand right on the jaw of Rashad Evans. I thought it was beautiful, the way that he set it up using technical boxing. He also used a lot of hand fighting and then came inside with sneaky elbows. I don't think that's something that Dan Henderson will fall for, because he even pointed out on Twitter, I need to avoid getting in hand fights and letting the elbows slip through against Jon Jones. I think that Jon Jones against Dan Henderson is going to be a war. Henderson's coming off of possibly the fight of the decade, the fight of the century, the fight of a lifetime against Shogun Rua, a 5-round war. Dan Henderson is battle tested, he's cage tested, he's ring tested. He's been in there with the best, he's beaten the best. Jon Jones is up against possibly his toughest task yet. So, who will it be? Will it be the new guy, Jon Jones, who's now beaten possibly the most impressive 4-5 fight win streak ever in the course of a year, having beat Bader, Machida, Shogun, Rampage, and now beating Rashad Evans over the course of 14-15 months, having an incredible, unbelievable fight streak at his hands? Or will it be Dan Henderson, the proven veteran, the guy who's beat Fedor, who's pretty much beat anyone you can hand him? He just came off a win over Shogun. He's beat some of the biggest legends in the world. He's been in the big stage in the UFC, Pride, all over the place. So who will it be? Is it going to be the new guy, Jon Jones, possibly the most athletic specimen ever to hit the UFC, the longest reach ever to hit the UFC, the best skills possibly ever to hit the UFC, or the legend, the veteran, Dan H-Bomb Henderson? Leave your comments, let us know. This is Aaron True, and you're watching MMA Prime TV.